right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Code A round of 32. I am Moltrep. With me here is Doa, and I'm sorry. Oh my God! Like I'm such on. I'm like messing everything up today. This is actually Wolf. I casted this morning with Doa, and I actually like barely got time to rest between casts, so like my mind just continued on.
Well, it's funny because, well, we've all made this mistake so many times because we switch so often that I thought you actually did it as a joke. And then I was
I'm like, oh.
And then you made that face, and I was just like, it's actually even funnier now.
All right, and that is JYP.
Yeah, don't mistake him.
I'm not going to mistake him.
Used to be known as Smart, but he's still smart. Now he's using his initials, JYP. And
is that his initials?
Yeah. And he made it to Code A round of 8 last season. And this guy's always shown impressive play. You know, our Processes are falling off the map one by one. I feel like this is like GOMTV and Dustin Browder have teamed up, and there's like execute order 44. He like makes a new one, and it's like they eliminate all the Processes out of the GSL. That's what's happening here, man. Every Process who's played today has lost, and you know there aren't very many Processes left in general in Code S and in Code A. And JYP is one of the last ones. We saw the Chosen One, Alicia, fall earlier today. We saw MC fall. What did we see just last game?
Well,
Shiny Star fell.
Yeah, JYP was actually the only Protoss to get to the round of 8 of Code A last season. So he may be the Protoss hope for Code A this season. But here is his opponent, the Zerg player who keeps qualifying and never does anything.
Yeah, jookTo, man, he has consistently qualified. He's been in the GSL for a long time. He played back in the open seasons. This guy's always been around. He's a really good example of someone who could just work hard always and to a certain extent prevail. You know, he did pretty well in the Super Tournament, actually. His own little individual league he played there where Code S players and Code A players played together. And he's back in Code A again. We'll see if he can make it out this time. Trends have shown that Processes haven't really been winning, so maybe he can hope to advance here against JYP. But I gotta say, I think JYP is definitely the favorite.
Yeah, well, it is, fortunately for jookTo, this is, I mean, it's JYP, he's a difficult Protoss, but jookTo actually doesn't beat Zergs or Terrans, so he only beats Protosses, so it's a good thing for him that he is getting in his best matchup here. I mean, he's only 25% win rate against Terran and Zerg. He's 60 against Protoss, though, so we'll see if he can bring it out here in his best matchup. The game is going to be starting here very soon on Antigua Shipyards. Game number 1. Is JYP going to be the Protoss hope for Code A again, or will jookTo finally advance in the round of 32? We're going to find out here in just a second at the GSL Code A. All right, here is our Protoss player. The only Protoss to get to the round of 8 of last season of Code A. Can he do it again here by beating
GSL JYP,
his opponent? There he is. For some reason, Coach Lee was switching the patches on his jacket earlier. I don't know why. And here's his Zerg opponent. Last shown himself in the Super Tournament.
jookTo.
Yeah, he actually beat any pro, and Keenan almost beat Ryung in the Super Tournament. That was his last real showing. And before that, he was in Season 2 of Code A. He was actually in Code S for the first season just because he was playing in the open season so much that he didn't have enough points. But he lost immediately in that first season of Code S. Got to up and down matches, lost in them, lost the wild cards, lost in Code A. So he like did well in the open seasons and then just spent a long time losing all the way out of the system.
This guy is old school. He's as old school as like Maru Prime coming back and qualifying, you know. This guy has been around in the GSL. You guys probably all recognize his name. You're probably like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. And you know, he's back. We're gonna see if he can pull something off here. He's going pool first and Antigua, which is actually somewhat unusual. You do see Hatch first a lot on this map or Speedling Expand, usually not pool first. Forge first for JYP, actually making his second pylon before Nexus.
Now, JYP is actually pretty good against Zerg as well, by the way. He actually beat Violet in the up and down matches as part of his rise to getting into this situation.
Ooh, blocking the drone.
And he beat Dongregu last season, actually. He's the one that knocked Dongregu out, that's right. And here he is trying to block the drone, making a hatchery, dodging around. He's jookToing back and forth with that probe.
He's jookTo and fro.
One more hit left on that probe.
And the funny thing was actually because he made the Zerglings, the probe was taking a lot of hits, but he didn't even have enough minerals for the hatchery anyways. But it looks like the probe is going to get taken out now by these Zerglings if jookTo controls them properly. Nice control by JYP though on that probe. It is going to get taken out eventually. It has to make too many turns to get home. JYP added a second pylon so he could help wall off here with a gateway. He's added his Nexus now as well. The probes going to make another gateway to help wall off here. He's going to cancel that immediately. And now the cannon is finished.
It's a temporary block just in case he tries to run the Lings by, and once the Lings leave, he can cancel it so he can get a faster core. And actually, he has a core already, right?
No,
he doesn't have a core.
Yeah, he just...
That's interesting.
Made the second gate.
Oh, he has to have a gateway first, duh.
Yeah. Mole trap, forgetting the basics.
I'm just like totally on crack today, man.
Do you know what is required for a forge? A Nexus.
And a pylon.
Yeah, I actually have to have a pylon as well. That was going to be the second part of my trick question, but you saw through that. Ooh, jookTo is going to take a fast gold base right in front of the probe. He's like, I don't even want to keep this a secret.
That was a bit silly, actually, that he just like, he even saw, he was chasing the probe with a Ling. And apparently he's earning a bunch of
well, it may just be that jookTo has figured this build out so much that he's so comfortable doing it even in front of his opponent's eyes. He may even want his opponent to know about it.
Well, I mean, what's JYP going to do about it? Send out a Zealot?
Yeah, and the other thing is he can't know that it's still there either. It could have been a fake. He can't check again to see if it's still there, and he may be wanting JYP to gear up for something more aggressive. He's going to send these first two Zealots out. This is actually something that's becoming so popular to do in PvZ, and I really like it because you can put so much pressure on these Zealots. You can force extra Zerglings. You can do tons of damage to hatcheries that are building, and you don't really lose a whole lot by doing it. If you lose the Zealots, it means your opponent has made a ton of Zerglings, so they've already been worth their cost.
Yeah, the opponent has to make at least an equal cost of Zerglings to kill those two Zealots.
Exactly. And in fact, he's actually going to send these up to the natural rather than sending them to the third base, which I like even more.
Yeah, he doesn't want to try and mess with that gold base right now. He's going to try and find a good corner to battle these Zerglings. Now he's trying to micro back.
Nice micro by jookTo, actually losing no Zerglings there. And JYP actually pulled back, losing no hit points on either Zealot either. So great micro from both players.
Some pro stuff going on here, man.
This is high-level stuff. Now the gold base is up and running. He's transferring just a few drones over there. Doesn't need as many drones there because it's a gold base, of course. Look at this, microing against the wall with these Zealots, not losing any hit points still. The Zerglings, though, trying to get a good surround, but unfortunately not able to, and he's killing quite a few Zerglings and may end up getting away with these. Meanwhile, 2 Stargates going up in the main base of JYP. Nice micro on these Zealots, pulling the weakened one away. Oh, man.
Wow.
He's going to kill all of those Zerglings.
That was so pro, taking the one that was about to die and just running it around, so it distracted some of the Zerglings while the other Zealot killed Zerglings. He killed, it looks like, Wolf's showing me, 12 Zerglings with losing 1 Zealot, basically.
Yeah. Void Ray is on the way. Second Stargate's finishing up. He's actually placed his Stargates somewhat apart from each other, so his opponent won't necessarily be able to know, if he, even if he gets in and sees, which will be very difficult to do, he won't be able to know that it's 2 Stargates. 8 drones are on the way right now. The lair is finishing up, +1 missile attacks are finishing up as well. So he does have an evolution chamber. Hasn't made any spores just yet, though, except the one that he's made at his gold base.
It's smart to get some defenses at the gold base, because you know it's going to be a target. And that Void Ray is in fact headed straight to the gold base. It's going to find that Spore Crawler and a Queen. And that's going to get driven off pretty quickly. 2 Queens, in fact.
Yeah, because he has that Creep Tumor on the high ground, you can always see the Void Ray. I think his plan here was to use the Void Rays on the high ground to harass the drones, but because he has that Creep Tumor, he always has vision of it. 2 Void Rays still constantly being produced at a time.
Wow. So he's actually just showing this 1 Void Ray to make him think that it's like a 1 Void Ray into Gateway Army, and then he's going to come out with like 6 Void Rays and some ground units to support. And then I don't know what JYP is going to be able to do about it. You can't defend that with just queens.
He is making a Hydralisk Den.
Okay, good.
He's adding some roaches into his mix as well. He's got roach speed on the way. He's got actually Overlord drops on the way. No Overlord speed though. Nice. Kills the Overlord and gets away. Actually supply blocks jookTo. He's going to come in here and harass the main a little bit. Maybe get another Overlord. He will indeed get this. He's actually limiting so much the knowledge that jookTo has about these Void Rays.
Look at that perfect timing. Pulls. I thought that Overlord was going to live because he pulled it away, but the last moment of that beam.
Oh, this attack is going to be so sick. 5 Void Rays in total. 4 more Void Rays coming out.
4 more Void Rays coming out.
Sentry's going to be able to trap these roaches.
Oh. Kills a couple of them.
A lot of Void Rays. 6 Void Rays now in total. About to be 7 as another one is coming out. This Void Ray might get taken out though. Needs to get away from that queen.
But the Stalkers and Sentries coming to support.
This is a really nice timing attack by JYP. Catching these queens. And these roaches are going to fall so quickly. A lot more roaches coming out. The Spore Crawler doing some decent damage, but how much?
The Spore Crawler is going to go down very quickly. There's no queens to transfuse.
And the Void Rays are charging up.
A couple of them are fully charged. Well, they're mostly charged. They're on 2.
The queen, now there's only 1 queen over there. The drones are all but taken out, and these roaches may clean up most of the gateway area, but with these Void Rays here, the roaches are falling so quickly. Nice micro by JYP, pulling back the Stalkers, warping in more Stalkers here. This hatchery is DEAD dead.
That's right, man. Even the Broodlings aren't going to survive that. Now he's going to run his Void Ray straight into the main and try and go after the hatcheries here.
9 Hydras are on the way, but with this many Stalkers on the low ground to support, they're not going to have range. And the Hydras can actually be targeted by the Stalkers if the Stalkers get close enough. Needs to pull these Void Rays back, though.
Oh, nice stutter stepping with those Hydras. Gets 2 Void Rays.
And there are so many Overlords ripe for the picking over here if he goes for these. He's actually trying to do a slow roach drop over here.
But he's turning back. Why is he turning back?
He wants to catch these Hydras when they're low in number. He doesn't know there's anything in those drops, and they're going so slowly over there. There's Overlord speed.
Overlord speed finishes at just the last moment there. He doesn't have a lot to support these Hydras, unfortunately. He needs to get out some... Okay, he's getting out more roaches. Good. And those
the roaches are actually
just
not
chilling.
being microed, yeah. So these Void Rays are going to come and deal with these quite easily. You can't even pick up and retreat because Void Rays are the units defending here. You may try to target down the Nexus. It looks like it may go down. Void Rays coming in here to try to help out. They're targeting the Overlords, though. And the Nexus is getting low.
Oh, he needs to target it down as quickly as possible. Oh, he's so low.
I think he's going to get it.
Is so close. A couple more hits left.
Oh, he doesn't get it.
Oh, man, 146
And look at this. Overlords flying over Stalkers, dropping Hydralisks. Wow. Nice force fields to get most of those away, but there's still more Hydras being dropped here. They're going to crush this Gateway army, and in fact, even with these Void Rays supporting, he's going to need to run away because it's way too many Hydras to engage straight up.
Is he going to pick up those Hydras into the main?
If he does, well might.
If he does, I don't think there's enough Void Rays left to stop him. Well, actually, never mind. There's more Void Rays that have been created. Okay, the opportunity. No, he's actually in the main now, dropping everything out.
And the Void Rays doing a lot of damage. The Overlord's tanking a little bit here, but I think there may be just too many units for JYP. No. The Zealots doing the real damage. The Hydras were on move command, and those got cleaned up extremely quickly.
He didn't have all of his units in that drop, and he had only dropped part of them.
Exactly.
So instead of like having his whole army against jookTo's whole, or JYP's whole army, it was just like a few roaches and a couple Hydras just there to get killed.
And look at this, the Void Rays going to catch these Overlords.
Speaking of
jookTo is supply blocked right now, 132 over 118. That's an improper fraction. It is, man. Don't laugh. This is a serious situation. Now, these Hydras want to engage, but he's not sure if he has enough. He's going to bring a few more. I think that's going to force JYP back. And the Hydra's being targeted down by the Void Rays to try to eliminate them, but there are just so many. Blink is done, though. There's too many units for jookTo. JYP has to pull back. This is such a close game. During all of this, jookTo still hasn't been able to secure third base. He's just now remaking his gold. Nice micro again here.
He's doing a really good job of defending with these Roaches and Hydras, though. Hydra's just so strong against both Void Rays and against Stalkers.
Yeah, and he looks like he is going to force the cancel on that third base for JYP. Sending only the roaches up to the high ground, while the Hydras actually roam around the low ground.
By the way, when you mentioned that, I actually started simplifying the fraction in my head, and I was like, wait, no, this is not the time. This is not the time for that.
Don't worry, he's now 136 over 176.
Good.
Takes off a Void Ray there using those Overlords. I like that. He's just been able to scoot around the edge with these Hydras, pick off pylons, catch Void Rays. He might even go for these gateways right here with his Roaches and his Hydras. I really like that. We've seen a lot of play like this on Antigua. We saw this earlier with Select, actually. Just picking off gateways using flying units for vision.
Yeah, and he needs that. Yeah, this is really, really good. He's killing so many production buildings, and there's nothing JYP can do about it right now.
Yeah, he's going to maybe try to trap some of these units with force fields, but oh, he gets him away just in time. jookTo, you know, he looked like he was in a dire situation, but his gold base is up now. He's got a huge army, and JYP is contained. He's trying to take a hidden nexus at the top left, but even that, you know, he's not going to be able to transfer any probes over there anytime soon. He's going to be able to just use the one probe that's there and make probes at that nexus to mine from there.
I like how he's actually made some zealots up at that top left as well. He's going to go harass the gold because jookTo has him so pinned in his base, he's not going to expect this, and that gold base is barren defenses right now. Here he is going in. He's got a large army. He's going to try and drop in here. Stalkers blinking up are maybe going to take out one Overlord, but the units are dropping out. I don't know if JYP can defend this.
You know, it's going to be really hard. There's so many Hydras in here. The Void Ray count is so low now. Even so, the Hydras are just doing so much damage. The Stalkers are blinking back, but there's so many Zerg units in here. Even Creep being dropped. He takes out the Nexus. The Hydras have to retreat because the Colossus is out. He gets the majority of his units out, though.
And unfortunately for jookTo, half of his units were attacking buildings during that battle. And that's partly why he got driven off very quickly. And things didn't go as well as they really should have.
Yeah, now jookTo, he still has a decent army. He needs to remake it very quickly, though, because there's a timing here where JYP can move out and counterattack and perhaps take the high ground behind the gold base and force the gold to stop mining.
Yeah. He is making, he just made a dozen roaches. He's continuing to make even more roaches. He's getting,
oh no, these units on move command, but they are going to get a better concave here. And JYP doesn't have much room to blink.
Wow, he's completely surrounded. If he blinks almost into the fire of more roaches at this point. The Colossus gets targeted down, leaving it to the Hydras and the last few roaches to pick off the last Stalkers as well. The one Stalker just getting some pot shots from above.
Oh, and the Colossus
caught out in the middle. Oh no, if he loses that, it's... Oh, barely gets it back behind those Stalkers in time.
Now, JYP actually has quite a few probes over that top left base. He was able to sneak some out there, and he actually forced a cancel on the bottom base of jookTo with those 4 zealots he made earlier, but they're going to be cleaned up now by these roaches. Right now, I'll give you guys some numbers. Sorry,
no, go ahead.
I'll just give you guys some numbers really quick, and then we'll try to continue. 53 probes, 64 drones, 1 Colossus, 14 Stalkers, so 23 roaches, 10 Hydras. It's looking like a pretty even game, but I think jookTo just has a better army, and he keeps trading efficiently.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I was just going to say that he actually, it was just interesting, he never actually upgraded range for the Hydras.
Yeah, I was noticing that earlier. That's something that's huge. I mean, I noticed it earlier, but I thought he had gotten it eventually, but no, he still doesn't have Hydraless range.
But the reason why the Hydras are being so effective, though, is look at that swath of purple on the minimap. He has spread creep all across the map. He started by building creep tumors when he initially built the gold, and he's kept spreading them around so that the entire map between his base and JYP's is covered in creep, and that's why these Hydras have been able to actually function.
And he's got infestors with pathogen glands now. Guess how much blinking is going to go on when those fungals hit? Not
very much.
Lot.
0, in fact, on the Stalkers that get fungal. He now actually just got Hydra range now that we were talking about.
Right now, yeah, his Hydra range just finished. Right now it's 200 supply to 117. He's got basically double the supply of his opponent. He's taking hatcheries at the bottom location. He's making macro hatcheries. He's got Neural Parasite on the way. He's got a Hive on the way and a Spire. He can actually control the game. The game is in his hands. He's got a grip on it.
Yeah, all he has to do is just tighten his grip and strangle the life out of JYP, man.
And he
still hasn't spotted that top left base, though.
Yeah, he doesn't know about his Overlord is close to it, but doesn't quite see. He's going to see this base, though. Overlords couldn't block it in time. But he actually, since he has drops, he can just ferry some units over there and force a cancel on that. It's funny that JYP has been able to get away with these hidden bases with basically no defense. This little roach drop here is going to be cleaned up, no problem. But, you know, why not trade a few units when you're maxed out? You've got more bases than your opponent. And these roaches, they found it.
Oh, no. This is really bad for JYP because now jookTo can turn around and, yes, his whole army is abandoning the front for a moment to go take out that base. JYP knows it, and so he's moving out as well onto the map to try and engage that.
Smartly, actually, though, jookTo actually left the majority of his army in a way where it could still catch these armies of JYP moving across at a weird angle.
Oh, yeah. He might just catch him in the middle.
If he can get some good knurls off on those Colossi, man, things are going to get nasty. That Nexus, of course, is now probe deprived. The 12 o'clock base has been canceled. He's going to lose that Nexus to those roaches.
This is the point in the Zerg game where you're like, all right, all I have to do is make sure I defend properly, and in the meantime, I'm just going to contain, get some money in the bank, get as many upgrades as I can for that late game, try and get my Broodlord tech.
Nice, attacking from 3 different sides here. Roaches on one side, Bungle's going off, trapping some of the units, but with great force fields, JYP is engaging the Zerg army just the way he needs to. Blinking forward, catching a ton of infestors here. 2 infestors go down, the third one might go down with full energy.
But I think what's going on in the meantime is I believe he's dropping in the main at the same time. There's a bunch of, never mind, those overlords are actually empty. This is actually all there is just these few corruptors trying to fend off these Colossi. Where is jookTo's army?
He doesn't have much left, man. 16 roaches in production. He's got 16 out right now. He's going to have a total of 32 in those pop, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to deal with JYP's army. JYP has taken something that looked like an unwinnable situation and made it work just by taking that hidden base and now doing a great attack through the center. He's going to destroy these rocks, and I'm not sure if jookTo's going to be able to hold the north base, or excuse me, the south base. While he's moving his army north, we may have some sort of base trade scenario here. Drone's going to escape, actually.
Oh!
Some of them escaping. But meanwhile, here's the huge counterattack.
Yeah, a ton of roaches countering here to try and... I'm actually not sure why he didn't just clean up JYP's army. I think he could probably beat it with that amount of roaches.
Well, here's the thing. If he can get in here and cut off the production of JYP, he'll be able to engage the army however he wants, similarly to how we saw last series.
True.
And another PVZ. I think that's what he's going to go for here. Now, the Colossi are starting to cut into his production. 4 Broodlords are out, though. And he's got 28 Stalkers. He's going to have to keep that Stalker count as low as he can with his roaches before he engages. It's going to be very, very difficult for jookTo.
Yeah. Well, the thing of this, though, is jookTo has a little bit more to fall back on. I'm sorry, JYP has more to fall back on. jookTo just doesn't have any extra bases. I don't think he has any drones out on the map.
Yeah,
He's got 10 minerals in the bank.
No income, 10 minerals in the bank. Like you said, he can't even hide an extractor. And he's trying to bring his drones over to join the rest of his army, but he has no mining, so he can't even make an extractor. He has nothing he can do here. All the buildings that you see for jookTo.
jookTo doesn't know about the 12 o'clock base. He thinks he's going for an elimination race right now. He doesn't even know that JYP has cannons and
he's
a
making
dark
a dark shrine. There's no lair. He has no overseers out. He can't make any overseers. If that dark shrine finishes, it's going to be lights out.
Yeah, well, I mean, he actually might just kill all of jookTo's buildings in the bottom right anyway. I don't think he has any hidden buildings anywhere.
Well, there are no hidden probes, actually. And he needs to target down JYP's base, but he doesn't realize it's there. This is really weird because he's got a chance to win this, but he just can't. GG.
GG. And there's the GG.
Oh, man, that was so tense.
His last Evo chamber about to die. jookTo's like, why isn't he revealed yet? I guess I lose. And jookTo, he's gonna go. Is he on he's on OGS, right?
Yeah, OGS jookTo.
The OGS coach is probably gonna go over to him right now and be like, how many times have I told you, always send a Ling around to scout all the bases in the mid game? And jookTo's just gonna kick himself.
Yeah, he looks a little bit
when he tells him, he's like, not only did he hide a base the whole time, but he actually hid a base in plain sight right next to you when you were killing his main.
Yeah, there were overlords right near it. In fact, I don't even think JYP...
He had overlords like this far from being a division of buildings of the top left base and the 12 o'clock base.
Yeah, JYP didn't intend for that base to be hidden. He was just like, I'm pretty sure he knows about it. I don't know why he's not going for it. He was making a ton of cannons there, made his dark shrine there, and, you know, jookTo never found it. That was a close game, and this is actually the first step a Protoss has gotten today towards not being eliminated in the round of 32 on our danger days.
Well, OGSMC won his first game
that's
as well.
true as well, yeah. That is true. But will this guy follow the same path and then lose the next 2 games, or will JYP be the first Protoss to advance today?
I don't know.
Find out, man.
We're going to find out pretty soon.
The next
JYP
map is going to be Daybreak.
JYP is pretty good versus Zergs in general. I mean, like I said, he took out Dongregu. Now, Dongregu, I guess, isn't actually known for his versus Protoss that much, so but still a strong player. So definitely it's something to put a notch on your belt for. Took out Violet in the up and down matches as well. So very strong player.
And we saw jookTo actually had total control of the majority of that game. I think if he had Hydralisk range earlier, some of his drops have been more effective. He might have actually been able to end the game a lot sooner.
Yeah.
And JYP did great blink micro. In those situations where he was almost dead, when he was on the ropes, he blinked back, he kept his Stalkers alive, he engaged a little bit, killed some Hydras and Roaches with his Void Rays, then blinked back. He just kept doing that repeatedly. He played in a scrappy situation, he took a risk, he hit a base, and, you know, I feel like jookTo should have won that game, but JYP just outplayed him.
jookTo really should have won that game. I mean, he was maxed.
Against 111 supply.
Exactly. He was maxed against that much supply. He was getting all sorts of bases and upgrades. Just banking money. Had control of the map. He was like, I'm actually just going to camp in a concave, so if you try and move out, I'm just going to surround you. And that one base in the top left enabled him to macro up enough units.
Yeah,
otherwise, he would have been basically on one base because his main was going to mine out.
He didn't even make cannons there for the most part of making that base over there. He wasn't able to sneak his probes for a while. For a while, he wasn't able to sneak him, but he was able to get him over there. And, you know, he took such a risk. He just made a Nexus and a pylon. He was like, if anyone finds this, I guess I lose, but I'm going to lose if I don't do this. So he just made that Nexus.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to do that kind of thing. If you know you're in a desperate situation, you got to do something like sneak a base in a hidden location or get a Dark Shrine and try and win with DTs and catch them off guard or something like that. You've got to do something that's not supposed to work if they play correctly, if they play super safe, and hope to get away with it. And that's what JYP did, man. He got away with it.
He did.
Yeah, Daybreak is going to be map number 2. And there's our competitors again. JYP is like, oh my god, how did I win that? That was so close.
jookTo doesn't look too phased, though.
No.
I think he knows that he just made a little mistake. He knows he's definitely capable of beating this guy, and he's going to try to do it here. Map is loading.
That was one of those ones where, like, if they were playing on the ladder, jookTo would have been like, rematch, because, like, he knew he could beat him. He wants to prove it.
Yeah.
But we're going to find out in the regame on Daybreak here in just a moment.